What's going on, y'all? So, first off, I'm going to start by saying if you've already played Blade and Soul Retail, this video is not for you. You already know what killed the game and what NCSoft did to hurt this game. So, this video is more geared towards people that have only played Blade and Soul Neo, and you guys don't really know uh, how bad Blade and Soul Retail got. So I'm going to go over what killed the game for me and what I feel will hurt Blade and Soul Neo if they go in the same direction as they did with Retail. So, one of the main things that killed the game for me was gear management. And what I mean by gear management is, let's see here. So let's go with with this here. And sorry guys, I'm getting over cold, so my voice might be a little scratchy. So let's compare Blade and Soul Retail, which is what I'm in right now, to Neo. So right now in Blade and Soul Neo, we have 17 pieces of gear, 8-piece soul shield, 6 accessories, 2 badges, and a weapon. Now, when it comes to MMOs and gear, this is already a lot. This is already a lot to manage. And in Blade and Soul Retail, if you're a free-to-play player especially, it can take weeks to farm up enough materials to upgrade your weapon or an accessory once or twice. So that's already taken a lot of time, on top of the vitality system, which slows down your progress and stops you from farming after so long. Now, with Blade and Soul Retail, gear management just, in my opinion, got out of control. So not only was there 17 things to upgrade here, but in Blade and Soul Retail, you still have you still got a whole bunch of other stuff here to upgrade. So you've got your pet, you've got your Spark Talisman, you've got your soul. Not the same soul that you guys use in Blade and Soul Neo. This is a different kind of soul. This is just all purely stats. And then we've got the heart. So we went from 17 to 21 pieces now. 21 pieces is a lot. And like I said, each of these pieces, and right now in Blade and Soul Neo, we can only upgrade our weapons. I think they go up to like 3 stages right now. Look at these. These go up to stage 16. And in order to do these, they would take you weeks for one. So the progression became way too slow. If you were a free-to-play player, you weren't going to be geared to do anything. And then on top of that, then they added gems to your weapons. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're at 21. Now we're at 29 pieces. And each of these can take months to upgrade once. So, or not once, but a few times. So you're talking a whole lot of stuff here that's just, it's going to kill your progression. You're not going to want to play. And that's why I stopped. It just started taking too long to upgrade anything. It was taking forever. Now we're still not done. So we're at what was it? God, the counts, lost count. That's how many we are. So 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, so 29. We're at 29 pieces of equipment we need to upgrade. And each of these items can take weeks on their own to upgrade. But we're not done. Let's open up the pet. The pet has gems of their own. So now we're at 8 more gems. So now you're talking an insane amount of equipment you need to upgrade. And these can take weeks on their own. So for me, the gear management just got out of control. And I was like, I can't do it anymore. That's way too much. Way too much. Way too much. So if they start incorporating this again, like incorporating gem slots into the weapons, gem slots into the pets, that they even don't bring this stuff back. All this stuff with these stats, just incorporate them into our accessories we have already. We don't need over 30 pieces of gear to upgrade and farm for it, especially if we got a vitality system. You'll never be able to farm for all this stuff, ever, especially with vitality. So, Blade and Soul Neo, you guys need to keep it plain and simple. Just keep these 8 accessories here, weapons and soul shield. We don't need all these gems. We don't need these souls, hearts, and pets. Or maybe add pets. Everyone likes pets. So just leave it at that. And then don't add these either. Like, you're going to kill the game. That's going to be way too much. Another thing that killed the game was how they structured content. New content coming out. So, whenever a new patch came out with new content, if you were a free-to-play player, you weren't going to get to play that content. That stuff was for the whales, because it's going to take you so long to gear this, to level up all this stuff, that by the time the new content comes out, you're not going to be ready for it. You're not going to be geared enough to do it, so you're not going to get to do it unless you're a whale and you skipped weeks and weeks and weeks and months of upgrading by buying materials off the marketplace by swiping your credit card. And how it was structured in Blade and Soul Retail, when a new patch came up with new content, the new content was for the whales. You didn't get to play it. So what NCSoft would do is let the whales have their fun first with the new content, and then when the next patch came out and the whales moved on to the next patch, what NCSoft then has to do is they have to nerf the enemies and stuff in the old patch, so that the free-to-play players can now play that patch, while the other whales are playing the newest content that came out. So you weren't getting to play the new content for like 2 months, 2 or 3 months. Because if you weren't geared enough, you would just get kicked out of the party. Or if you were a free-to-play party that went to try to do these, you wouldn't be geared enough and you would die. You wouldn't be able to do any of the content. So the new content was basically for the premium players only up until the next patch, where then they nerfed that current one and they let the whales have the fun with the newest ones. Another thing that killed the game for me was the daily quest nerf payouts. So there came a time where they nerfed a lot of the older dungeons gold payout, and they gave us this bullshit excuse of, oh, we nerfed the gold payouts because players aren't playing those dungeons very often anymore, the older dungeons. So then why do you need to touch it in the first place? Why does it matter? If no one's playing it, why are you touching it? Why are you lowering the gold? No, they did that because they were trying to force players to go and swipe their card. Because it makes no sense. If no one's playing it, then you don't need to touch it to begin with. But the cool thing about those old dungeons, where there's a point where you become so powerful that you can go back to those dungeons that took 6 players to beat, and now you can solo them. And they don't pay out as much as the newest ones. The older dungeons gave like 2 or 3 gold versus the current dungeons in this one now, where you can get up to 20 gold in a dungeon. So it was just a cheap trick to try and get them to get players to swipe their card. So progression and all that was just too low and slow. And then the kick in the teeth was when they lowered the gold payouts, because gold is different in retail. Gold is for everything. Upgrading, buying stuff off the player shop, buying stuff off of vendors. Gold was used for everything, and Blade and Soul Neo Gold's just used basically for crafting. So that's kind of what killed the game for me. Then another thing that made the game, what killed the game some more for me was this. So currently, we, as a Force Master, in Blade and Soul Neo, we have this build. The Ice Ring build, which is like one of the builds that I absolutely love, was the Ice Ring build. So, what killed the game for me was when they released the Awakening skills. So what's the Awakening skills? What it was a way for them to simplify combat, and it made I didn't like it. So if you haven't played this, then you guys would we're spoiled with this. So these are our skills. Can we change the view? Simple. That's not what I wanted to see. It's been a while since I played this. But as you can see, we don't need skill books. We can just pick whatever skills we want to use and just hit apply. Which sucks. But, so, I loved the Ice Ring build. Then they changed all the combat and they created the Awakening skills. So what are the Awakening skills? Well, they simplify the combat. So let's see here. It's been a while. Cold Snap. Now instead of Ice Ring, we get this. This is boring. This is very boring to me. Ice Ring was cool because it hit multiple targets. This doesn't do that. That just hits one person, one target. It's quick, but I found it kind of boring. I didn't like this. I liked Ice Ring because it hit multiple targets. It was fun using that. So I didn't like this. I didn't like the new skills they gave us. They sucked. This is boring. You just stand in one spot, casting spells at single targets as a Force Master, instead of being able to hit multiple targets with Ice Ring. So that's kind of what drove me away from the game as well. Now another thing that drove me away from this game was upgrade. Now, you guys are used to it because if you've only played Blade and Soul Neo, you're used to fail chances. When Blade and Soul Retail first came out, for like the first 2.5 years, there was no fail chance for upgrading your weapons. But now, they've got fail chances. And these fail chances are crazy. I have 1% success rate. I have 1% success rate to upgrade this. So you know what that means? I'm probably going to have to do this, upgrade this 90 times. Try to do this 90 times unless I get fucking lucky, which is rare. The cost to upgrade, look at that, 850 gold to upgrade this. And that's the same with all of these. All of these now have fail chances. So you can farm for weeks and weeks and weeks, and you can fail, and that weeks and weeks and weeks of work just gets thrown away like it was nothing. The fact that it can take weeks and weeks to save up enough materials, there should be no fucking fail chances in this bullshit, ever. Either that or increase the rate of cost to upgrade, but with a guaranteed success rate. This is just meant to make you spend money. I hate it. I don't understand why they make you farm for materials only to lose it all. It's dumb. So this drove me away as well. Now this here was another thing that killed the game for me. And this was Treasure Trove. So what Treasure Trove is it's you can buy these keys basically for $1. I bought 1,000, so I spent over $1,000 on this. But this is basically your pay to win right here. This lets you pick, you use a key, and then this happens, and then a list of stuff comes down. So these are all upgrade materials, and you can spend gold to get these upgrade materials. Now it can take a long time to farm these, but now with these you can just, oh, I want that, and I'll click it, bang, and then, so this was an item to upgrade your weapon. This was an item to upgrade your, this was material to upgrade your accessories, and it can take a long time to find these, but I can just buy 2 for 5 gold. If you weren't able to do the Hive Queen run, the raid, well, there, you can just buy the materials off of Trove. Same with here, legendary elements, and it's just like this was just super pay to win. After a while, this just became like they just shoved this in your face, and it almost seemed like you needed this in order to progress through the game. So I stopped doing this, and my progression just died. Once I stopped paying for Trove, and I went back to being a free-to-play player, I just dropped off the map and wasn't able to do any of the new content anymore. None of that. So, with that being said, if they start incorporating that stuff into Blade and Soul Neo, the game's going to die. And if they start doing that, I'm probably going to jump ship myself. I hope that they don't. But there will be signs of the game's health. One would be if we have a server merge, which I kind of have a feeling we will have one of those eventually. I've noticed that in Blade and Soul Neo, the population has started to go down a bit. There's not as many channels as there used to be. And what will happen is eventually the population will get so low on each server or one server that they'll have to merge the servers into one big one. And that's a big indication on that's a big indication that the game is starting to die in population. Um, yeah, there's a lot of stuff they need to fix in Blade and Soul Neo. The skill book system is terrible. They need to come up with a system where you don't feel like you've wasted your time, and that's the problem right now that a lot of players are facing in Neo, is they feel like their time's being wasted trying to get these skill books. I'm going to play a whole week, save up a bunch of green book pages to try and make some blue books, and I'm going to fail. There's a fail chance. So all these skills that I've been farming for the last week, that week doesn't exist. You just deleted that week because of all those materials that are just lost because they all failed. I had enough blue or green pages to try and make seven blue books. Not a single one. Didn't get a single blue book go to 7 of those books, or 7 of those attempts. That's crazy. That's like 3 or 4 days of farming for those pages, and that means I've wasted all those pages. So that week was just wasted. So it's discouraging. And if they're going to do that with the gear as well, there's no reason why in Neo at the beginning of this game's life that there's fail chances and all this stuff. And RNG, everything is RNG. A game can't survive on RNG. Players need certainty. I need to know that if there's something I want, I need to know I can get it if I work for it versus hoping that I get it. So, for instance, these fucking blue pages, or these skills that everyone's trying to get, it's all RNG. So it takes 20 green pages to try and make a blue book. Why not incorporate a system where we can have a guarantee of what skill we will? Because you got to hope that you even make the blue book, and then you don't know what skill it is, because that's RNG, so it's going to be random. So if I'm farming for, like, let's say Ice Rain, I'm never know when I'm going to get it. I could successfully get a blue book, and it might not be that skill I want, or it could even be a duplicate. I've had duplicates of the same skill. So instead of 20 pages for an RNG chance, why not make it like 200 pages for a guarantee? Like, you can take those 200 pages, take it to a vendor, and pick a skill that you want, like you could with the Valor Stones for the green skills. Like, there's no certainty. There's no light at the end of the tunnel. You don't know when you're going to get what you want. And that's the worst part about RNG, and everything is based off RNG in Blade and Soul Neo. That's killing it. That's killing the game already. The Vitality system. We don't have the Vitality system in retail. Why they gave it to us in Neo, I have no idea. You can't dedicate yourself to farming something. You can do, depending on what dungeons you run, you can do, I think it's like 8 to 9 dungeons. And then you're done for the day. You can't farm for anything anymore. Why? Why are you setting up systems to make me play the game less? You want me to play the game more, not less. Why are you limiting how much I can play the game? You never did that to us in retail. Why are you doing it in Neo? It's not necessary. These skills, we didn't need skill books in retail. Why did you incorporate that in Neo? And that's why I think they screwed up with the the arena. And I think that's why arena's not in, is because of the skill books. I don't know, it's crazy. Like, if I want to do PvP, like, let's go to PvE for a sec. PvE skills, there's basically a jack of all trade skills for PvE. You can just hook your PvE skills up, and they pretty much work for all enemy types. But when it comes to PvP, certain skills work better on certain enemies. So if I want to play in Blade Soul Neo PvP, and I want to be like, oh, I'm fighting a Blade Master, let me hit this one, this one, this one. Let me spec for Blade Master. So I get these are just examples. These aren't the actual skills I'd use. But Now I'm spec for Blade Master. Bam, hit apply. I don't need no accessories, nothing. Now I'm spec for that. In Neo, you can't do that. You need multiple sets of accessories for PvP because some skills work better than others. So then if I'm fighting a Blade Master, I'm like, oh shoot, I'm fighting a Destroyer next. Let me use this, and this. Apply. Bam. But if I do that in Neo, I need another set of accessories with those skills on that accessory. So you can't even really properly play PvP unless you have multiple sets of gear, of accessories. The skill book system is terrible, and I can't wrap my head around why they did this. Blade and Soul Neo was supposed to be a graphics update, performance update, and a quality of life update. And they've made it worse. How is this quality of life? How is the skill book system quality of life? How is the vitality system a quality of life when there's all these limitations on what I can play? And some of these skills in Blade and Soul Neo you can't acquire unless they're blue or purple books. Every single skill should have a green, blue, purple, and yellow set, like skill. So every single skill can be used in the game, whether they're at green level, blue level, purple, or legendary. Why some skills are limited to blue and purple, I have no idea. Summoners are basically unplayable unless they can get their hands on Sunflower, the Sunflower skill. That's a blue skill. There's no green skill, so there's no entrance into that skill. You have to farm for that skill, and these blue books are still kind of hard to find, let alone purple and legendary. So they've already implemented systems that are frustrating players, making players want to leave already. So they need to chill. They need. I don't know what they brought JJ over for if they're still doing this dumb stuff to try and push players towards wanting to pay to win or pay to play. There's nothing wrong with buying a battle pass. I don't mind spending $20 every couple months on the battle pass and supporting the game. I mean, they need to make money. But if you're going to be greedy and you're gonna do the same thing you did in Blade and Soul Retail, where you're gonna make all your casual and normal players leave, and you're gonna be stuck with a hardcore fan or player base. And if that's what you're going to end up doing in Neo, you might as well not even have made Neo, and you just keep your hardcore player base on retail, because there's more content for retail right now. Like, where are you going to get more money from? If for example, if you've got 1,000 players and you've got your hardcore players, which is maybe, let's say, for 200, and they're spending a couple $100s a month. Those 200 are spending a couple $100s a month, and you've got the 800 other casual players maybe spending 20 bucks to $50 a month. You got to make more money off of your casual and kind of free to play players with them, instead of trying to stick to a hardcore player base. And you're going to do that. You're going to make them all leave. You're going to be stuck with another hardcore player base for Blade and Soul Neo. And if that's the case, you made the game for nothing, and we could have just stayed in retail. Other than that, I can't really think of much. My voice is getting extra scratchy. But if anyone was on retail and they played here, let me know what killed the game for you if you stopped playing retail. And anyone that's only played Neo, let me know what you think in the comments, what you feel they should change to help fix this game before they end up killing it. And yeah, other than that, that's just my 2 cents. I just felt like talking about it. And yeah, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace.